So there was some boring news this week, or at least some administrative news this week. They restructured the athletic department a little bit. Scott Barnes announced that moved some people around. I'll spare you the details because I want you to keep listening and keep watching this. But the long and short of it is Scott Barnes moved some people around, gave some people some new titles, put some people in charge of some new things, and created some new things, some new departments. And this wasn't, restructuring in the way they restructured Steve Peterson's position back in December of 2014. They didn't fire anybody. They didn't get rid of anybody. If anything, they added a few people. They hired a couple people and promoted some people and gave some people some new titles. And what this was a further extension of Scott Barnes' vision for the athletic department. And he's been talking about this for a while. If you've read interviews or talked with Scott Barnes over the last 8 months or 10 months or whatever it's been since he was hired, he's talked about how they need to add staff members to the athletic department. They need to get bigger. They need more administrative people. And ultimately, it all kind of points to the goal of fundraising. Not all these positions relate to fundraising, but ultimately it points to the goal of fundraising because that's the biggest thing Pitt needs from its athletic department is to grow the donations. So they're able to do more things with all of the athletic programs. But the bigger picture is that, in the service of fundraising, Pitt's athletic department needs to and needed to evolve. And this is part of the evolution and the growth of the athletic department. And I know Scott Barnes has become a polarizing figure for Pitt fans. And maybe it's not even polarizing because polarizing implies that there's two extremes. There's one in favor and one against. And it doesn't really feel all that separated. But, he's become something of a polarizing figure since the basketball coach hiring process and the hiring of Kevin Stallings. But the fact is that everything Scott Barnes did for 8 months before the basketball coaching change pointed to Barnes being a pretty smart guy and a pretty good fit for what Pitt needed. In this week's news, with restructuring the athletic department and more sort of tangible evidence of the growth Barnes is trying to do with the athletic department, I think it's a continuation of that pattern, even if there was a minor speed bump a couple weeks ago.